What's up everybody, 40 the Broadway Saiyan here. Welcome back again to my YouTube channel, back with another video on Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. In today's video, we have a bit of a more serious topic about the game in the form of a news that was just released not too long ago on the global side of Opera Omnia. The topic itself is a little bit controversial, and to be honest, I was not aware of it until it was brought up on my stream for Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster that I did earlier today. And based on the reactions of how people are going about it, I do feel like as a content creator for this game, who has some influence, with the game and things like that, I think it's important that I give my personal opinion on it. I know a few others have already given their opinion on it, and this is a way for us to kind of let Square know how we feel about it and potentially, could potentially get a change out of it. Who knows what'll happen with it? Maybe it'll fall upon deaf ears, maybe it won't, but I think it's important that we as a community take a look at this, kind of analyze it, and just see what could be done to potentially keep the community happy and also keep, the environment of Dissidia Opera Omnia a healthy one, healthy and a positive one. So there was news that was released on the global side of the game. Now this was actually already released earlier on the JP side of the game, but because not everybody plays the JP side of the game and not everybody reads Japanese that play the game, we just play it because we have all these different guides. It was largely, I would say, ignored, but I know some had brought it up as a concern, but that was that. But now we see that pretty much that same news being brought to the global version of the game, which has to do with purchased gem limits. So to summarize what's happening, by March 22nd, at the start of March 22nd, what's going to happen is that players can only have up to 300,000 purchased gems on their account at a time. Anytime you are at that cap, when you try to buy a gem bundle with purchased gems, you will be unable to buy any purchased gems until you go below 300,000. Now, why is this a concern? Well, this is the reason why it's a concern. If we go over here, right, to my account, we go over here, you go to user data, right? Okay, so there's my account. You have two different types of gems, purchased and acquired. Acquired gems are simply put, your free-to-play gems. These are the gems you earn by playing the game. These are the gems that you earn by doing your summon board tickets, by participating in events. These are the gems that are given out during the Square Enix community streams or whenever we hit milestones. And these are also gems that you get whenever you do purchase those said bundles. Because remember, whenever you purchase a bundle, you get free gems as a bonus, and then you also get paid gems as well. So they're split into two categories. Now, the problem with this is when you do a pull on a banner, it will take from your acquired gems first. So it's going to take from the free gems first. So let's say theoretically I'm capped out at 300,000 gems, right? Purchase gems. And let's say White and I have 43,000, right? And let's say there's a costume that came out and I want to buy that costume. I'm not going to hide it. I support the game. I do buy some of the packs on my global account, because I do love this game. I love this community. I love what Square has done. So I want to support the game. I want to show the devs some love. And let's say there's a costume that came out. Well, I can't buy it because I'm at 300,000 gems. So what am I supposed to do if I want to buy it? I have to eat through my free gems first, or I could just wait for it to come back, which is the logical choice, but some of us don't want to do that. Some of us want to support the game, right? And then afterwards, go through my purchase gems to get it below 300,000 and then be able to buy that costume bundle. You can see why this is a puzzling decision made by Square Enix to do something like this, because it prevents players from buying and supporting the game, and it also cuts revenue for this game. Now, theoretically, you can also see it as a way for them to slow down on those who really like to hoard up on their gems, or maybe, I guess, kind of create a slick way for players to forcibly eat through their free gems, even though, again, not recommended, but you never know. Somebody out there might do it, might eat through their free gems just because they really want that costume. And in a way, it's a way to kind of, I want to say, almost force players to pull. Again, I'm trying to be careful with my words here, and if you guys want to leave in the comment section below if I could word this better. But again, it's a controversial topic, and I just wanted to put my thoughts out there regarding this. But I personally think it's a questionable move by Square Enix. Now, there is one reason that I could see why they would do something like this, and I did talk about this again on the recent stream that I did for another game that I was playing. So back during the early days of gacha. I think it's definitely still going on now, I believe. There was something called cheap gem vendors or cheap gem purchase. Now, for those of you that are wondering what the hell is cheap gems, well, there are these certain vendors or websites that will sell you cheap gems. For example, let's say for Dissidia Opera Omnia, they'll sell you 100,000 of the gems in Dissidia Opera Omnia, and you'll pay like $5. It's a crazy low amount, right? And of course you'll be like, whoa, that's a good deal, right? Well, there are things that are done behind the scenes to get you those gems as to reason why they're so cheap. Now, I don't know what the exact details are, but I know it involves handing over your account information to this so-called vendor, which is already breaking terms of service, and it's also compromising your account security. And then they do something with Google Play, because for some reason, whatever they do, it has to be Google Play. If you're iOS, this so-called cheap gems doesn't work. So you already know that this is shady, right? Like I said, I don't know the exact details, but I have a feeling this could have something to do with that, whereas Square Enix is putting their foot down, for Dissidia Opera Omnia, trying to put a halt to these, people that possibly participate in these cheap gem spendings. I know that they did something like that for Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. That was a big thing in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, where there was a lot of people purchasing these cheap gems, and then they started putting bans, putting sanctions on these players that continuously did that. So I think this is the reason why, or could potentially be the reason why they're doing this for Opera Omnia. But even then, as a whole, I still think, from the larger grand scheme of things, I think it's a questionable thing for Square Enix to do. Now, as far as like things they could do to maybe work around with it for players that do still want to spend on the game, like for example, let's say like you just want to buy the costume, you just want to buy the weapon gloss, or you just want to buy the burst book, the burst ingots. They could potentially just sell those by themselves without the paid gems as like a smaller bundle and price it, and players can still buy it, they can still support the game and be happy, and they're not having to worry about their 300,000 gem cap limit if they really do decide, which it looks like they are, to keep this paid gem limit on players' accounts. Like, they could just honestly take those bundles, take away the paid gems, and then sell them as their own. I've talked to a few players before that have told me that they feel like the costume bundles themselves are pretty expensive. And you know what? They are a little expensive. Now, I'm not one to talk really because I buy them anyways, but they are kind of expensive if you think about it. And I know, yeah, they're tied with gems, but it is still a bit of a hefty price. You're paying almost the price of like a full game for a costume for a character. And if they had a way for us to purchase that without having it tied to paid gems, I think that would definitely make the player base happy. It would definitely make the community happy. And it's something that I think they should have looked into a long time ago. Now, I know somebody else suggested, or a few people have said, were in specific discords that I'm a part of, they're like, well, what if they just changed it to where if you pull on a banner, it uses the paid gems first and then it uses the free gems? While they could do that, if you've played any other mobile game, generally it's the free currency that gets used up first, and then afterwards it's the paid currency that gets used up next. So for Square to change it specifically for this game, I don't see that happening. Now, I do see maybe a potential way they can implement you only using paid gems on a banner. They could create paid banners, which I know is frowned upon because this game is so free-to-play friendly and generous, but maybe they could structure it to where the paid banners are a step up, because I know step ups are a thing where as a player, if you have paid gems, there's a step up for that said banner that you want to pull on, and you can only use paid currency, so then that way you're incentivized to use paid currency. So then let's say you want to buy something, you're underneath that 300,000 cap, you could buy whatever it is that you want to buy, and there's that. So I think that could be something they could definitely look into. Now, I know with a game like Dissidia Opera Omnia having better rates than most games and being as generous as it is, I could even see that being a, kind of a long shot for them to do. But again, it's just an idea to throw out there, have your bundled items separated from paid gems, like have different kinds of bundles, and then afterwards consider maybe like a banner system just for paid gems only that can still feel generous and rewarding without feeling like the game is turning into a pay-to-win cash grab. And then another thing that could be concerning too is the Mog Pass, because a lot of us buy the Mog Pass to be able to have an easier time to get summon board points and Ultima cores and all that good stuff, enhancement board points. So what about those that can't purchase the Mog Pass? Well, I think an idea that they could look into, and again, this could be a long shot. Who knows who's going to be watching or listening to this video at Square Enix. But what they could do with the Mog Pass is anybody who purchases it, give the player an option to choose their benefits. So for example, let's say I'm capped out at my paid gems. I'm at 300,000, and I want to buy the Mog Pass, but the Mog Pass contains paid gems. What do I do? Well, they can have an option where, let's say I click the Mog Pass, and then it gives you a drop down. Okay, 40. What benefits do you want with your Mog Pass? Well, I want the Moogle coins. I want, you know, the enhanced EXP gem, you know, summon board points, all that good stuff, and I want the EX tokens. And I could just click those options, and then based on how many benefits you choose for your Mog Pass, it gives you a set price. You buy that for that set price, and then that's that. You don't have to select the paid gems that go alongside with it. So these are just some things that I came up with, and I'm pretty sure those of you that have concerns about what has recently been announced have probably come up with similar ideas as well. But that's just going to be my stance on it, guys. I know it's a bit of a controversial topic, but I do want to get my point across and my thoughts out there, so then that way you guys see where I'm coming from about it, because I know I've already had people asking me about it, and when it was asked to me on stream, I was kind of thrown off by it, because I was just like, I'm playing a different game. I really don't want to talk about something like this, but I guess it's good. It's a healthy discussion to be able to bring up topics like this whenever it affects the health of a community that you're a part of. And I care about the Dissidia Opera Omnia community. I've been a part of it for 5 years now. Met so many great people, and I think when something goes wrong with this game that we all love, I think it's important to point it out and to just voice our opinion and let Square Enix know, hey, maybe you guys could consider doing this if you decide to do something like this, which could potentially hurt the game in the long run. So that's going to be my thoughts on that, guys. Hopefully, again, I chose my words correctly and I came across okay. I know you guys were asking me about my opinion on this, and well, this is my opinion on the situation at hand with the Dissidia Opera Omnia. And again, hopefully somebody at Square Enix hears this, and if we could collectively get our thoughts out, you never know, they might listen to us. Thank you guys again for watching. This is 40 the Broadway Saiyan signing out. Mahalo.